My name's Paul, welcome to Paul Perambulates. In this episode I'm in Scotland at the western end of the Grampian Mountains, climbing the UK's highest peak, Glen Nevis. My start point is the Glen Nevis Caravan and Camping Park, postcode PH33 6SX, grid reference NN12447241, what 3 words, faceless downturn writings. I take the tourist path from the Glen Nevis Visitor Centre, going up alongside Red Burn. The path zigzags up the western face of the mountain, leading onto the summit plateau. There's plenty to look at there, so I spend some time exploring it. I descend by the same route, on the way down seeing fabulous views over Loch Linhay and Loch Isle. I once again pass Loch an Meal and South and drop back down into Glen Nevis. From the visitor centre, it's a short walk back up Glen Nevis to the campsite. Total distance 17.7 kilometres. Total height gain 1,350 metres. Total walking time 7 hours and 6 minutes. This is the Glen Nevis Caravan and Camping Park, with the mountain itself in the background. Extremely handy for climbing Glen Nevis, being only half a kilometre away from the visitor centre, which is at the foot of the mountain path. But whatever you're here for, it's a highly recommended campsite. Something I've noticed since getting here, everywhere is full. Might be term time, but the only late spaces you can get are camping. The weather brings people out at any time of year. Every self-catering accommodation, B&B, hotel, static caravan you come to, no vacancies. Pleasant shaded stroll along Glen Nevis to start with, but it will get harder. This is the visitor centre, which has everything you could want at the start of your walk. Information, shop, picnic tables, toilets, the lot. If you're driving to get here, this is also the place to park. It has hundreds of spaces, it's pay and display, you can't camp overnight in it, but you can leave your car long stay, and there are no gates. You might even decide not to climb the mountain at all and just chill out on the benches by the river. You start your walk by crossing this excellent bridge across the River Nevis, after which the mountain is named. I'm on the start of the mountain path now. I'm expecting this to be a great long slog, if I'm honest with you. But you never know, it might get interesting. We'll see what it brings. Not too far up, the Glen Nevis Inn, and a rather nice view out of the end of Glen Nevis. This is the going low down. Quite well maintained path. Loose-ish stones but pretty firm underfoot. And quite a shallow climb. Well maintained gates and stiles. I'm not very far up at all, but I have an excellent view of Glen Nevis. The start of the path climbs gently along the hillside. Can't see anyone at the moment, but there are a good few people on it. It's a Tuesday in term time, late spring, but it's the UK's highest mountain, so it's always going to be, to an extent, busy. This, in theory, should be a quietish period, but there are a lot of people on the campsite, and I think the good weather has brought a good number of people out. We'll see what it's like as we get further up. Starting to get a little bit rocky now. And also, you can see it clearly in the video now, the plague of the Scottish Highlands, mozzies, and I'm in my rather fetching mosquito net. Here is a great example of the fact that although this is the highest and in places the steepest mountain in the UK, it's safe to walk up because of this sort of work has been done. Clearly a nice vantage point as well. I'm now going up alongside Red Burn, stream that flows down through a huge cut in the hill, making that lovely soothing sound of rushing water that helps you get up any steep climb. A little bit further up, the path comes away slightly from Red Burn, and then it really flattens out. Not completely flat, but suddenly it's a pleasant walk. I'm looking here at the old path going up on the left of Red Burn, which is now being closed off. Way steeper, a little bit more dangerous, but not that bad, and quite badly eroded. I'm quite happy to take the longer, shallower route. I've also got high up enough now to have escaped the midges. They don't like it above 500 metres. The air is a bit too thin for their little wings to beat against. So I've been able to get rid of the mosquito net, which is a blessed relief. Great view of the path slanting across and gently upwards. Shallow path up a steep mountain. Apologies if I'm butchering this pronunciation, but this is Lochan Mael and Sooth. And then beyond it, excellent views to the north opening up. This is where the path crosses Red Burn, little ford there, and that lovely sound of running water is even closer. Lovely waterfall feeding the burn here. And then looking all the way down it, you can see an earlier part of the path, and then some sumptuous views away to the west. And this is the ford. Nice and easy to get across right now, although it's been very dry lately. For all I know, this might be a raging torrent in winter, but there's no problem now. From here now, I can see the Glen Nevis campsite where I'm staying, and I can see my car and my tent. So I'll look up from there later at the point where I am now. Amazing views to the west now. Rocks and mountains. Onto the higher part of the path now, where it starts to zigzag towards the summit, and here it's loose stones and rocks. It's not quite as good walking as down below, but still not too challenging. Very top of a mountain now. Lots and lots of rocks and increasingly little plant life into that sort of environment where very little survives. Behind me, fabulous views. Lots of people coming up the path. There's a cairn here, and as you might expect, on the UK's highest mountain, rather a nice one. Rather a nice view behind it. Another tidy cairn here. Hi guys. Hi. And behind it, something even cooler. Snow. So cool it's cold. Now I know I'm on a mountain. Here it is closer up. Probably caught it just before it melts. And people are telling me there's more at the top. On the final run up to the summit now of the UK's highest mountain. I've done a number of mountains, as you can see from the channel, and it's always good to get to the top of one. I've got to admit, there's a certain exhilaration. It's been the highest in the UK, I guess is what it is. I really am quite excited. Having got this far, I know I'm going to make it, and it's quite a moment. Cairns all the way, but the path's nice and easy to follow anyway. Taking me up to the top there. Now here's a sight to gladden the eyes. Just come up over that lip there, and I can see the top. And here we go, final straight. Top of Glen Nevis, UK's highest mountain. And here we are. Glen Nevis, 1,344 metres, UK's highest mountain. These are the ruins of the Glen Nevis Observatory, opened in 1883, operated through to 1904, closed then due to lack of funding. operated by the Scottish Meteorological Society, and the data collected during those 21 years still forms a large part of what we know about mountain weather. On top of that cairn there, emergency shelter for people who get caught out in the weather up here, as they often do. Here's the shelter. Not somewhere I would want to spend a night, storm or no storm. Let's go and have a look inside. It's a pretty solid construction. Steel door with a latch. Fortunately, you can open that from the inside as well. Part of the floor is steel. Wooden construction elsewhere. Probably clad by brick on the outside though. Reasonably roomy. And if you were up here and something went seriously wrong, it could save your life. This is Britain's highest memorial. That's kind of obvious. Where would they build a higher one? And it was put up on VJ Day 1945 at the end of the Second World War. The wording is interesting. It's dedicated to the fallen of all races. So that includes the Germans and the Japanese, everybody. It's not celebrating victory, it's lamenting that the war ever happened. There was a vote a few years back on whether to move this to the bottom of the mountain so that more people could see it. And the vote went decisively against it. The vote was taken here and also in Dudley, where the people who carried this 200-weight stone up the mountain originated. And they wanted it left here. And I think that's the right thing. Now here's one reason why you need to take some care up here in limited visibility. It is a damn long way down there. It's easy to see why Ben Nevis is the honeypot of British climbing. There are some seriously forbidding crags here, extremely steep. I'm at the eastern end of the summit plateau and I'm looking down now on the other walking route up Ben Nevis. So the mountain in the middle there is Carmordeer, and from it, curving around, hidden unfortunately from this vantage point, is an arête, which is a sharp ridge called the CMD Carmordeer Arête. That's part walk and part scramble. There's a lot of exposure there, and it's something basically that I wouldn't do alone, which is why I've come the tourist path. The big long mountain behind it is Aonach Mor, and then if we come around, its partner Aonach Beig. All the mountains in the background, obviously, I haven't a hope of naming. There are far too many for a start. Something I really don't know where to start with is the views. Basically, mountains. Thousands of them, as far as the eye can see. It is incredible. This is the view to the north. More mountains than anyone, but especially me, could possibly name. On the southern side of the summit plateau now, sweeping across the view, hundreds of mountains. I don't know Scotland very well, I can't name any of them, but I doubt if there's anybody that could name all of them. It's a weekday in term time, the weather's pretty good, there's still a good few people up here. I imagine it gets much busier than this on a weekend, and especially in the school holidays, if the weather stays good. got the trig point to myself. It's quite enough now for that. So just going to do a little walk around it. Get these gorgeous views swinging around in the background. Time to head off down now, back the way I came. So say goodbye to the trig point, UK's highest point, and off I go. On the way down, of course, looking at the views all the way. I've already captured most of what's there on the way up, so I won't be doing too much filming. I think I'll probably just be enjoying the view. I'm enjoying these beautifully built cairns in the foreground, and in the background the mountains and the loch stretching out to the sea. Well, I wasn't going to film much on the way down, but how can you resist this? Missed this on the way up. Classic mountain stone shelter, a lot of which I see in Snowdonia. I don't think I've seen one with a better view than this though. Can see a lot of the path from here, especially that nice flattish bit which I will enjoy, and then I'll drop into Redburn and on back down to the campsite, which I can also see from here. Another reason for not filming much is how treacherous the ground is. So I really need my poles to get down safely, and obviously I can't film while I've got those attached to my hands. Just to show you what I mean by that, lots of loose stones of varying sizes, and they squirt out from under your feet if you don't land perfectly. It's very, very dry at the moment, and I imagine that probably makes that worse. In wetter conditions it might be a bit safer, but you really do need to watch your footing on the way down even more than on the way up. I'm at the waterfall and the ford over Redburn, that lovely running water sound. I'm on the much shallower section of the path now, the middle bit you might call it, so I've been able to put the poles away and I can just stroll along enjoying the evening sunshine. I'm about to descend into the midgie zone again, so before I have to put the midgie net on, I thought I'd stop and enjoy a nice coffee. Cheers. Dropping back below the tree line now, some nice blissful shade, and I'm most of the way down. What a day I've had. Ben Nevis. How hard is it to climb? On a difficulty rating out of 10, the highest I would give any route that I could complete would be a 9. I'm giving Ben Nevis an 8. So why only 8? Underfoot, it's actually quite simple. There's been an awful lot of path work done to make it safe. In places, it's like a staircase. There is no scrambling. I had to get my hands on rocks 3 or 4 times maximum just to pull myself up over big steps. Apart from that, all walking. The navigation is also extremely simple, certainly in good visibility. Just follow the crowd, and even if there wasn't a crowd, the path is blindingly obvious. So why as many as 8? Its location at the western end of the Grampian Mountains puts it very close to the sea, and as a result, at the foot of the mountain, you're 100 metres above sea level tops. You're going up to 1344, so that's a height gain of 1244 metres. Compare it with Irwidfa. From the Llanberis Pass, you're already at 300 metres. You're going up to 1068, 768 metres. You see the difference. It is a huge, great, long climb. You will need a basic level of fitness in order to be able to do it, and I couldn't recommend that you try if you don't have that. You don't have to be a super athlete, but you do need to have some sort of regular sporting or fitness activity going on. But at the end of the day, it's about willpower. So if you do have that basic fitness, why not come and test yourself? Imagine how you're going to feel standing on the top of the UK's highest mountain. All maps and 3D fly-throughs provided by kind permission of Ordnance Survey through their excellent OS Online application. Big thanks also for all music used in this video to mixkit.co and upbeat.io. Specific song and artist credits can be found in the comments. These videos are designed to show you around the routes I walk in case you're considering doing them yourself. They are not designed to be any kind of hill walking training or guidance. If you need hill walking skills, obtain them in person from a reputable, qualified provider. Please don't attempt these walks without appropriate levels of fitness and equipment. If you don't have the required levels of knowledge and experience, only undertake them accompanied by somebody who does. You can find out more about me and my background and experience at my website paulperambulates.co.uk. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Paul Perambulates. If you did, please subscribe and share.